Dorfromantik is a gentle building strategy game based on tiles, where your goal is to get a high score. It's almost magical how everything starts falling into place and you end up with these majestic landscapes. This is just the start of building a world up, and already you can see I have a large field, some started forests there, a town, a river that's going to be winding through with lakes, as I'm placing a lake right now, and railways also. And all of these things have to build up your town, and by the end, even if you're not perfect, you will end up with something that looks pretty nice. To change the looks, you can unlock a biome by completing certain achievements in the game. Anyway, moving on to a later game, you can see an epic river with a huge lake at the top of the screen, a medium-sized forest on the right, and some railroad tracks with a little train winding its way through my entire lands. This is also using that biome I just unlocked to add in lavender fields. So some of the fields on the bottom are purple. You can see that. Now, there is no time limit to placing tiles, although I do rush myself into it often. And the goal of the game, as I mentioned, is a high score. In this mode, you can see in the top right that I have a score of 6,250. You gain score by placing tiles, as you might expect, and the best way to gain score is to place perfect tiles, where the tile is matched on every side. So if there's a woods and a plains on two sides, those have to match up. And then you want to do that for all the sides, which can be quite complicated and takes very careful play. But it's must if you want to get in the high score in the 30K, 1 million I've seen is possible. So as long as you take your time and place the tiles with a lot of forethought into what is going to come up, you can do it. Dorfromantik might not look like it, but it is one of those games that is just one more tile, and then you place that tile and it's like, okay, well, wait, one more tile and one more tile and one more tile. Before you know it, you've lost yourself and you're just keep playing this game and you cannot stop. It is extremely addicting, which is pretty funny for such a calming game. On a personal note, I'm far too impatient and impulsive to think of all the future states of the board, and so I just place the tile where I think it's going to go. Now, I know I'm never going to reach the upper echelons of the high score boards, but that's okay. And the game is still a lot of fun, even if you can't make it up there. The game doesn't rub your high score in your face like, ooh, you didn't make it, or anything like that, and most of the achievements aren't about getting a high score, so you can still unlock plenty of cosmetics for your board. Moving on to quests, which is a very important part of the game. It is how you get more tiles. Completing quests will give you more tiles onto the bundle, because once you run out of tiles, the game is over. No one wants that. The first type of quest is the easiest. It is a number plus quest. Like those railroad tracks in the middle of the screen or the forest, I need to expand that area so there's more than that number of things. So more than that number of trees for 71, or adding 2 more railroad tracks to that railroad line. The second type of quest is a number quest. You can see it on the town in the middle. It is just a number, no plus. So you have to reach that exact number of items. I have to add only 9 more houses to that section of the map. These are definitely more of a pain in the ass because you have to get that exact number of things, and sometimes 3 houses come on a tile and 1 house comes on a tile. And so you can leave yourself where it's 1 and then you got to wait for a 1 house tile to come up. It's a bit annoying. And an extension of that is the flag marker, the triangle on the top right-hand corner of the quest box. This means that once you complete the quest, you now have to close off the area. A flag will appear in the map and you can hover over it to show you the area that is in question. You must build around the area so it's closed off. You can't add any more of the same object to it. So if it's a town, you have to make sure that it's surrounded by fields or plains or anything else, so you cannot add any more houses to that area. It's a little like real life, where if a town is surrounded by plains, you can say, that's a town right there. And this is where it ends, the town limits. It's pretty cool. Keep in mind, you don't have to complete the quests. They're optional, sort of. You want to finish them to get more tiles, but you do not have to complete them if they're impossible. If you get a quest and it's too large and you don't want to do it, you're better off making it impossible to complete the quest, therefore canceling it, and the game will be forced to give you a new one. You want to make sure you have quests you want to complete or that are possible in order to play the game longer, get more tiles. You know what I'm talking about. The longer you play, the more chance you have to score points. It's pretty basic. So there's no penalty for missing a quest, failing to complete one, whatever you want to call it. And to cancel the quest, if it's, for example, a forest and you don't want to complete it, just put a town right next to it and block it off so you can't complete the amount of trees the game wants you to put in the forest. Boom, it's done. Moving on to the rewards or achievements in Dorfromantik, and here's a quick look at the list of them. There's also challenge tiles you can build towards, which unlock further things. But everything here is a cosmetic item. You don't get a boat inside your body of water until you unlock one of these things. You don't get a train on one of your tracks until you unlock one of these things. Here's me looking at the 3 I have available on this map. These are things you can go for. Sometimes you'll need to play in a way to unlock these specifically, like if you can't rotate the tile and you have to place 200 in a row. That's going to be not a normal way to play. Here's an example of choosing what you want the map to look like. You can change this at any time. Lavender adds those lavender fields. Fjord turns down the colors and makes everything a bit more muted. I don't really know that much about fjords, why this would be the case, but here it is in the game. You can also still have those purple fields. I think this color palette looks amazing. Anyway, here is the high score screen after you've run out of all the tiles. You can see there's an online leaderboard on the right side, but it only shows you your position. You can't see what the highest score is, which is a little unfortunate in my opinion. I also really appreciate the game stats on the left-hand side. It's pretty cool. You might be wondering if this is a good playthrough or not. I would say no, but not because I was new at the game, but because I'm just bad at it. Generally not good. Please don't tell anyone and embarrass me in public. Thank you. But this is what you're going for in the classic game mode. Your goal is to place those perfect tiles. This is a score chasing game, no matter how chill it seems. Mostly you'll be challenging yourself to keep getting a higher and higher score. I wish the local high score was tracked a little better so I could get a sense of how I was progressing or if I was getting any better or not. I have no idea, probably not. Finally, before wrapping up this whole video, I wanted to show off the game modes. Classic mode is the one I've been showing off the entire video. Creative mode allows you to place tiles or not place them. You can do whatever you want. There's no score at all. Quick mode for a shorter round. Hard mode if you're really intense about the game. Monthly mode if you want to compete with others on a fixed map instead of classic mode. And then there's a custom mode to do whatever you want. You can save the seed, play against your friends, then change all the different settings around that map. And that's that. There's plenty of game modes to keep it interesting. Here's a little peek at creative mode. The random tiles come in, but you can discard them or place them wherever you want. You can copy tiles. You have all the tools required to do whatever you want in this mode to create a beautiful landscape. Overall, Dorfromantik is absolutely wonderful and calming and beautiful and filled with strategy. Note, don't build yourself into a corner. Get those perfect spaces. Build your score up. It's hard not to draw a line from Carcassonne to this. This is single-player digitized Carcassonne, basically. There's plenty of tricks to learn how to improve your score and get better, which is going to be great for players that really love this genre of game. Although what I would say, even if you're not trying to find all the perfect strategies, the game still is a lot of fun. The soundtrack is pretty good, and it's one of those games that you start playing and you realize, what, I just lost 30 minutes, what happened? And you have a beautiful landscape at the end. And I really appreciate that. Now, there's nothing left to do but sign off of this video, leave you with some things to think about, and subscribe to this channel. Later.